In the middle of the Pacific Ocean, farther from continents that most people will land for travel, stands an island where stone faces watch horizons that never end. Rapa Nui, a place of volcanoes, wind, and memory. Beneath the gaze of the Maui, under a sky thick with stars and shifting moons, there's a deity who does not roar like thunder or blaze like the sun. He does not command armies. He does not demand temples of gold. He watches, he measures, he returns. Tonight, we walk the cliffs of Rapa Nui and speak the quiet name of Haua, the keeper of cycles. Hello, and welcome back, witches and wanderers, to the Morbid Witch Podcast. Tonight, we return to the vast Pacific, to Rapa Nui, often called Easter Island, one of the most geographically isolated inhabited places on Earth. Isolation shapes belief. It sharpens awareness of tides, stars, seasons, and survival itself. And from that awareness rises a lesser-known yet spiritually profound figure in island mythology, Haua, a male deity associated with lunar cycles, fertility in the sense of abundance, and the sacred timing that governs both nature and ritual. Haua is not a god of spectacle. He does not dominate myths through conquest or fury. Instead, he exists in the quiet mechanics of life, the rhythm of planting, the pull of tides, the turning of seasons, and the return of light after darkness. In a culture where misreading the sky could mean starvation or safe passage, a deity who governs cycles is not minor. He is essential. Haua represents the idea that continuity itself is divine, that survival depends not only on strength, but on knowing when. Rapa Nui is a place where the environment is not background, it is destiny. Volcanic soil, limited resources, and the endless horizon of ocean demanded a culture of observation. The people who lived there historically became masters of celestial awareness, tracking lunar phases and stellar movements with precision because their lives depended on it. The sky was calendar, compass, and omen all at once. In such a world, time was not abstract. It was visible overhead each night. Within this landscape, the moon carried profound significance. It governed tides that determined fishing success. It influenced agricultural decisions and ritual observance. Darkness and illumination were not poetic metaphors, but practical realities. A deity aligned with these cycles would naturally become intertwined with daily survival. Haua emerges from this environment as a spiritual embodiment of rhythm, not merely the moon itself, but the principle of return, repetition, and balance. The famous Maui statues often dominate modern perceptions of Rapa Nui, but beneath those monumental faces lies a rich cosmology filled with spirits, ancestral reverence, and celestial symbolism. Haua belongs to this quieter layer of belief, less visually imposing than the Maui, yet deeply woven into the invisible frameworks that shaped how the Rapa Nui people understood time, harvest, and harmony. Unlike many Polynesian traditions that associate lunar power with feminine figures, Haua stands as a male lunar deity, a rare and fascinating inversion of expectation. His influence centers on cycles rather than gendered archetypes of nurturing or aggression. He is not fatherly in the patriarchal sense, nor maternal in symbolism. Instead, he is a regulator, the quiet force ensuring that beginnings lead to endings, and endings give way to renewal. Haua's connection to fertility is not strictly reproductive. It extends to abundance, seasonal growth, and the sustainability of resources. Crops planted in alignment with lunar phases, fishing journeys timed with tidal patterns, and rituals synchronized with celestial events all fall under his subtle domain. He becomes the spiritual representation of right timing, the invisible difference between prosperity and scarcity. There is also a psychological dimension to Haua's presence. The moon governs mood, sleep, and perception. A male deity tied to these influences suggests introspection rather than dominance, a reminder that power is not always loud. Sometimes authority lies in observation, patience, and the knowledge that the world moves in patterns far older than any single generation. Haua is most frequently mentioned alongside Makemake, one of the central creator deities in Rapa Nui mythology. Their relationship is often described as complementary rather than hierarchical. Makemake shapes existence, brings forth life, and defines form. Haua ensures that what is created continues, that it follows cycles rather than collapsing into chaos. One begins, the other sustains. This pairing appears symbolically in traditions connected to the Tangata Manu, or Birdman cult, a ritual competition tied to the seasonal cycles in celestial observation. While Makemake dominates the ceremonial narrative, Haua's influence is felt in the timing, the precise alignment of ritual with lunar and seasonal markers. He is the unseen metronome behind sacred events, the deity who ensures that ceremonies occur not merely with devotion, but with accuracy. Some oral traditions portray Haua as a watcher rather than an intervener. He does not descend dramatically into myths. Instead, he is present through implication, invoked when discussing proper timing, successful harvests, or the balance between land and sea. His power lies in continuity, not confrontation. He is the god who does not need to appear because his work is already happening. Where many cultures treat the moon as an object of mystery or romance, Haua reframes it as a tool of measurement. The lunar cycle becomes a divine clock, a celestial agreement between sky and earth. His symbolism teaches that survival is not only about strength or courage, but about recognizing patterns and respecting limits. To ignore cycles is to invite imbalance. This symbolism also reflects the broader Polynesian worldview in which humanity exists within nature rather than above it. Haua does not command the moon. He embodies its function. He is less a ruler and more a manifestation of natural law. Through him, mythology acknowledges that some forces are not meant to be conquered, only understood. Though Haua is not widely known outside academic and cultural circles, his thematic presence persists in modern interpretations of Rapa Nui's spirituality. Scholars and cultural historians view him as an example of how isolated societies encoded environmental knowledge into divine figures. His mythology becomes a bridge between astronomy, agriculture, and ritual, an ancient system of survival translated into sacred narrative. For visitors to the island today, The connection may not be obvious, yet it lingers in the alignment of structures, the orientation towards horizons, and the reverence for cycles of light and darkness. Haua survives not through grand temples or widespread worship, but through the enduring recognition that time itself is sacred. Haua is not a storm god or a warrior king. He is quieter, a deity of return, repetition, and restraint. He reminds us that the most powerful forces are often the ones that move without announcement. The wind rises whether watched or ignored. The tide turns whether praised or cursed. Life continues in cycles that do not require belief to function. In honoring Haua, the people of Rapa Nui honored the principle that survival depends on harmony with those cycles. Not domination, not defiance, alignment. Thank you for listening to the Morbid Witch Podcast. If you ever find yourself under a bright moon or standing where ocean meets sky, remember that some deities are not carved in stone or written in thunder. Some are written in repetition, in the quiet certainty that night will always follow day and day will always return. Follow the podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Share the stories with fellow night travelers. And join me next time as we uncover another legend etched into the bones of the world. Stay strange, stay spooky, and remember, the shadows are always watching.